Tonight, a Tennessee state lawmaker is calling for changes following a News Channel 5 investigation into the Metro Police Department.
Now, that's Senator Mike Bell, who says police departments that fail to notify the state when their officers get into serious trouble need to be held accountable.
News Channel 5 investigates first exposed how Metro repeatedly failed to report officers who were forced to leave the department. Investigative reporter Jennifer Krause talked with the senator about what he's proposing. So what's his goal here?
Well, the bottom line, he says, is public safety. He believes police departments, like everyone else, need to follow the law, and when they don't, he says, there needs to be consequences.
We need to come up with a way to hold them accountable to protect the citizens of the state.
Senator Mike Bell says he was very concerned after our investigation revealed that Metro had failed to notify state regulators about dozens of its officers who'd been suspended for 15 days or longer and forced to leave the department because of serious disciplinary issues. It wasn't until after we discovered the lapse that Metro turned over more than 90 officers' files to the state's Peace Officer Standards and Training, or POST Commission, in many cases months or even years late.
Because the current law says you shall report this to the Post, and Metro didn't abide by that law. They violated that law. But when you look, there's no remedy. There's no way to slap Metro on the wrist and say, you violated the law.
The Republican lawmaker says he's now working on a bill that will allow the state to punish departments that fail to report.
Disciplinary action against Metro.
Bell is himself a member of the Post Commission, which essentially licenses officers to work in Tennessee. And reporting, he says, is crucial because Post can then decertify these officers and keep them from going to work for other police departments.
That's the whole reason we've created the certification process, to protect the citizens of this state. And it appears that broke down in this situation.
In many cases, these are officers facing termination, and you're letting them leave the department in good standing.
Exactly.
Metro's failure to report to the Post Commission first came to light back in July, when we discovered the police department routinely made deals with officers who got into trouble.
Some of these are pretty serious.
Oh, yes.
You didn't want these officers on your force.
I did not.
Do you think another police department would want these officers on their force?
They should not.
But in many of these deals we found, Metro agreed not to actively seek Post decertification. Yet Chief Steve Anderson blamed Metro's failure to report on a series of record-keeping mistakes.
I wouldn't know Chief Anderson if he walked in this room. Never seen his face, but to blame this on a clerical error is outrageous with all this other information that we have.
And Senator Bell says he hopes his legislation will ensure that what happened with Metro will not be repeated by any police department in Tennessee ever again.
That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
Senator Bell is still working out details of his bill. At this point, he is not sure who will enforce it, whether it'll be Post or perhaps another agency.
And when it comes to departments who fail to report, how does the senator propose that they should be punished?
Well, they have discussed fines. He says they have, but he says he's really hesitant to issue fines because he says all you're really doing then is punishing taxpayers. Right now, he says they're finding out how other states enforce this kind of rule and what seems to work best.
All right, keep us posted. Thank you, Jennifer.